does success actually look like when you're restoring a classic car? Is it making a profit or simply bringing them back to life? On this episode of the MarshyCast, I'm joined by presenter and mechanic Ant Anstead to talk about his latest series of Born Mechanic on Quest TV. We chat about whether he's finally making money on the cars this season, why he's far more confident fixing engines than tackling DIY around the house, and the pride of watching his daughter continue her professional rugby career. Plus, I ask whether getting another series commissioned ever becomes routine, or if every renewal still feels like a huge relief. It's Paul Marsh, and I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by Ant Anstead to talk about the latest series of Born Mechanic. Ant, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, Paul. Thank you so much for having me on. How's things your end?
Very, very good. Now, the last time we spoke, you said the biggest lesson you learned was don't lose money on the cars. So, did you actually take your own advice this time?
Well, tonight sees the start of season 3. And if anybody of your listeners has been watching the show, in season 1, so 2 years ago, I did lose quite heavily on the cars.
Yeah.
So things do tend to go on an uptick. But that's one of the cool things I love about this show is it's incredibly authentic. You know, a lot of TV shows have, can I say contrived? I've said it. It's too late. I've said it. Tough.
It's there.
So, you know, I'm kind of fed up of watching car TV shows where they always win in the end. So yeah. I love the fact that we tell the truth. This is it. If win or lose, and, you know, we are genuinely buying these cars publicly, selling them publicly, and, you know, particularly cars that go to auction, there's just no way to predict how they're going to do. So you've just got to back yourself.
Was that a big thing for you to make sure that the series was authentic and it wasn't shown as like a polished end of product?
100%. In fact, I'd bought the farmhouse 3 years ago, and the TV show wasn't even envisaged till about 6 months afterwards. You know, it was never intended to be a television show. And it's one of those things, if you stopped the cameras, you stopped recording, we'd still be doing it. So, you know, it really is a kind of come along for the ride. It is an observational documentary more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. Well, look, let's talk about the first car that you work on, the Austin Healey Sprite, or the Frog Eye, as we like to call it. Was there something about that little car that made you think that this is worth saving, or did it simply fit your budget?
Well, I am guilty of leading with my heart over my head, particularly with the Austin Healey. When I was 17 years old, my first ever car was an MG Midget called Bridget. Bridget the Midget.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends, you know, imagine the peers at the time, they were driving, you know, standard first cars, you know, like Minis and Metros and Renaults and Fiestas.
Yep. My first car was a Fiesta. Yep.
Oh, well, it's still cool. I mean, it's not an MG Midget.
It's not an MG Midget, no.
So I was like the odd one out with my friend group because I had a classic car, an MG Midget, apart from my mate Will. So during our A-levels then, you know, we're sort of 17, 18 years old, Will was restoring an Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite, a white one in rural Essex. So around our exams, we were both working in this tiny little restaurant and in the evenings working on a farm. But in the downtime, we were restoring Will's Austin Healey. So it feels full circle. As soon as I saw this Austin Healey, it reminded me of the one that we were restoring for Will when, you know, 25, 30 years ago. And you don't realise it at a time, but that is the best time of your life, right?
Yes.
17, working on a farm, working in a restaurant, fixing up cars, driving around in an MG Midget. Come on, does it get cooler?
No, do you know what? I was thinking about that because obviously the 90s has had a big resurgence, and that was when I was in my teenage years. And yeah, you look back on it now and you think it just didn't get any better than that. It did not get any better.
Yeah, youth is wasted on the young. Says us too, like we're like cranky old men now, aren't we?
Statler and Waldorf. Now, you do seem completely at home rebuilding classic cars. When it comes to the house, you've managed to hit a water pipe. Would it be fair to say that you are a better mechanic than a DIY expert?
Well, first of all, I suffer with the undiagnosed issue of thinking I can do everything. And I kind of naively thought, well, look, I'm pretty good at restoring cars. Surely some of those skills are transferable.
Yeah.
And they have been, but oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I spent ages as well restoring these floorboards, and it was on the first floor. So underneath, you know, new electrics, newly plastered ceiling, and I'm drilling in the floorboard, and I was just rushing and put my drill through the central heating pipe, which wrecked everything.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're allowed to use bleeps in TV because there was a lot of words that should never be spoken. But I was genuinely furious. I'm mad at myself as well. It's so avoidable.
Do you know what? Again, it's one of those moments where you, at the time, do you think, do we edit all of this out? Or I know it makes great TV, but it makes me look really bad.
No, one of the things that I've said to the production team is this is an authentic show. I want the show to be observational. Don't script anything. Don't try and line anything up. I don't want any fake deadlines. I don't want any contrived notion. I don't want any fake jeopardy. Just record the show and it is what it is. And that's one of the reasons I think the show resonates, is that, you watch it and you can feel that this is real.
Yeah, I agree. Talking of things that are real, congratulations to your daughter on signing again for the Leicester Tigers.
Yes.
Watching your children achieve their own dreams, does that give you as much satisfaction as finishing some of these cars?
More, way more. It's so phenomenal. I have two older kids. My daughter's Amelie's 22. My son Archie will be 20 this year. And then a younger one in California, a little Hudson, who'll be 7 in September. And I'm so incredibly proud of all three of them. And yeah, Amelie is now on her second year as a full-time professional rugby player. She plays for Leicester Tigers. Yeah. And 2 weeks ago, she played in Germany for Team GB.
Wow.
Which is, for a parent, that's incredible. So your daughter's playing on television for her country. It's, does it get any better than that? And I'm incredibly close with all three of them. But actually she came over on Sunday and we walked the dog and we went for fish and chips at the local pub, and I'm so proud of them. And tonight, actually, I'm in London at the moment doing press, and I'm spending the evening with Archie. It's such a thrill to see them become the adults they are now and to thrive at what they do, because they're really, really good people.
I think that's really, like you say, for all of the cars and the houses and the TV shows and everything else. When you realise, I think you've done a good job parenting, that's the real crown, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. The minute you know that these are going to be okay, these guys are good, it is just you have total freedom.
Talking of doing things really, really well, the show has been received amazingly. When a new series gets commissioned, do you expect the phone call, or does every renewal still feel like a massive relief?
Well, it's an interesting question because it's a funny time in the television landscape right now.
Yeah.
There's a massive drop in commissioning. This is globally. This is all networks. I think this is the biggest commission of the year for the whole network. I think 18. I don't know another show that's had 18 episodes. So it's a big, big order by a network that have really backed the show. And this is my 28th television show. I've been incredibly lucky over the years that I've always been working. And I know a lot of people in the industry that aren't. And the industry's changing. Traditional commission television is very different now than it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago. So, I don't take for granted that there is still an appetite to view stuff that we're doing. And it's a real privilege to be able to do something I really enjoy and people enjoy watching it. And, I know one day that will stop. And I'm not a glass half empty guy. So ultimately, I'm just going to keep going until people don't enjoy it anymore. So I'm thrilled that the network's behind the show. I'm thrilled that the viewers are behind the show. It's one of the highest rated shows for the whole network. So, I believe we're doing something right. And that's because we're staying true to the DNA of this show. It's real, it's authentic. We show everything, including me demolishing a central heating pipe. So, I'm a firm believer in, if you make something authentic, cream rises. So I think good stuff is always going to be watchable.
Well, I couldn't agree more, and it's always amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for talking to me. Best of luck with the rest of the series, and look forward to seeing that renewal for Series 4 as well.
I appreciate you very much. Have a fantastic rest of your week.